G'day, Trent Fleskens here from Strategic Property Group, and today I'm going to be providing a high-level overview of the subdivision process from start to finish. Your first subdivision can be a daunting experience, but with the correct project management and processes, it can turn into a hugely profitable exercise that you can replicate over and over again to build the nest egg you deserve for your future. Let's start from the beginning. Understanding your borrowing capacity. If you haven't already watched the tutorial on how you can determine how much the banks will lend you, head over to this link for a more thorough outline. But essentially, before even searching on realestate.com.au for a development block, you need to know what ballpark you're playing in. It's all well and good finding a brilliant subdivision candidate in the inner suburbs, but if your income won't service the loan or your equity levels put you in LMI territory straight away, it will always be better to lower your sights, take advantage of the low-hanging fruit in outer suburbia. Generally, these blocks are more profitable as a percentage return anyway. In order to get a good idea of your borrowing capacity, download an app like the Val Financial app, which has all the calculators you need. Visit a few banks' websites for a more in-depth calculator, and most effectively, contact an experienced broker who can give you a definitive response within the day. Understand your market. What you would like to develop and what the market is screaming for can sometimes be two very different things. Whilst you may personally prefer to live in a standalone house or villa, a little research of what's selling or renting in the area may help you realise that in fact townhouses are the preferred dwelling type in the suburb that you plan to develop in. And being a long-term investment affected mostly by demographics, building the right type of property will not only have a big impact on your long-term profit, rentability and valuations, but also on your upfront costs. If you can't afford the preferred dwelling type for the area, look for a suburb where the market needs meet your capacity and profitability requirements. Get to know the R codes. I've had many clients come to me with pure excitement and glee, proclaiming they have found their dream development block. It's on the great street with minimal development costs, services are in the right spot, and the price is just outstanding. Only to have me do a quick zoning search for them to realise that the reason it's priced so well is that the block is either not subdividable or would have serious impediments to do so. Whilst R codes may seem a little foreign at first, it is super important to understand the guidelines provided by the WA Planning Commission on their website. But also to get to know the R code of each property you research before putting in too much time. The easiest way to do that is to jump onto the local council website and use their mapping service to do a land search. In most cases, information on the specific property, or at least the specific area, will detail the applicable zoning. From there, you can cross-check that against the legislation to make sure you're onto a winner. Narrow down your suburb search. Once you know your local council maps like you know your favourite TV show, you should start to get an idea of the suburbs that are best suited to your development needs. For example, there are some suburbs that have been completely rezoned for triplex development, such as Balga, Coolbellup, Beckenham, Cudale and Lathland. There are others that have had strategic plans enacted to incentivise private redevelopment around schools and cafes, such as Padbury and Bassendean. Some suburbs, such as Morley, Scarborough, Balcatta, Wilson and High Wycombe, are also great targets, but you'll need to find the right block at the right price. Use the internet. Whilst there are some powerful programs out there that businesses such as Strategic Property Group do use, everyday punters can get by using just as easy search sites such as realestate.com.au to their advantage. Instead of searching through thousands of properties, narrow the search down to property blocks with land sizes over 720 square metres with a house on it, and in specific suburbs you know subdivision can occur. Once you find a few that may fit the bill, cross-check them against Google Maps for a satellite view, council maps for zoning info, and previous sales prices to see if the numbers add up. You'll need to either develop your own profitability model or consult a professional development team such as Strategic Property Group to be sure that what you're buying is a goer. The offer. It has also long been said that you make your money when you buy, not when you sell. And that adage sticks on this too. Whilst there can be some variability in estimated development costs and values can go up and down in the market, the underlying profit is made when you secure that property at the right price. If all other factors are appropriately forecasted, it's only the only thing that you can really influence that can make or break a project. From my experience, two approaches generally work. The first is to get in quick on the snatch and grab. If a seller just wants to get rid of it, often it's the first offer they'll take, and that will get the chocolates. However, if you have to come to the party later in the piece and the property is still available, it means that it has either been hidden in the pile, the market's soft and in your favour, or the owner is holding out for an unrealistic deal. This is where you play the long game. Scope out as much information as possible, make your intentions, borrowing capacity and interest well known to the agent, and let them come to you. At the end of the day, there will always be another property, but when a genuine buyer like you comes to the table, the seller will be stupid not to do their best for your business. Usually the winner is the one who needs the transaction the least. Make that person you. Tenant retention. Your holding costs can easily start burning a large hole in your pocket before long if you aren't proactively looking to minimise and mitigate them. Before even settling, you want to make sure that you have a tenant lined up, either already living there or looking to move in ASAP. If you're planning to retain the original house, sign them up to a 6-month lease to offset the cost of your purchase loan. If you're planning to demolish the existing house, put them on a periodic lease so that when you're ready to get cracking on construction or land clearance, you can give them 28 days notice to vacate. The development process. Time is money. And in the development game, time is the most sensitive aspect to profitability. So why waste a second? Once you've received an accepted offer, we usually arrange for our clients to go about getting that feature survey completed immediately. This can take 2 weeks, and as long as you stipulate this as a condition of the purchase, you can get this done whilst getting finance approval. Once completed, you can get straight into other planning for your built or survey strata development before you've even paid the mortgage. These are the little differences that can save you months on your development, time frames, and therefore thousands in cost. Now, this is something where things get a little less clear. This is where the real game starts, and depending on whether you are planning to contract with a builder and develop under a built strata or unlock the equity in your block first and build and sell after completing a survey strata, this will determine the next course of action. If you have the equity in the bank to move straight to built strata, arrangements you can have confirmed with your broker that a lender will give you the construction loan with the equity you already have. This is where the builder will take over and arrange all the contractors for you. They'll add these development costs to the building contract. You can present this to the bank for finance. Site preparation. If, however, you are looking to create equity first, you won't have the equity to service a building loan straight up. You'll need to go down the survey strata or green title route and either organise contractors yourself or engage a development consultant such as Strategic Property Group to assist you along the way. One of the most time-consuming periods is the 90-day response time from the WA Planning Commission for your subdivision application. So getting this lodged as quickly as possible is helpful. Again, this can be done before settlement with the consent of the seller. However, hiring a consultant to ensure you are making the most of the zoning with the best block configuration is extremely important at this stage, meaning the difference between tens of thousands of dollars. So whilst you can lodge these yourselves, I do recommend seeking professional advice here. Once that is lodged, it's time to start preparing quotes from contractors for expected works on the property. And this is where things can get a little overwhelming. Within the space of weeks, your property and bank account could be engaged with the following: Western Power, contractors, tree loppers, concreters, demolition men, asbestos removers, fencers, landscapers, electricians, plumbers, roof carpenters, surveyors, council planners, and many more. At this stage, you can expect rapid transformation of the aesthetics of your property, as well as noticeable pressure on your bank account, with little to no cash coming in. Sometimes within the 90 days, you will be receiving a letter from the WAPC outlining exact conditions placed on your application. Most of these will be entirely forecastable. However, if there are any surprises, now is the time to address them. This is the stage where experienced project management skills and mentor really do come in handy. Not only to ensure that you're receiving the best bang for your buck from contractors, but also that you are scheduling work plans efficiently, working within the law, and optimizing your returns from every decision you make. Receiving clearance. Once you believe you have met all of the conditions placed on you by the Council, Water Corporation, and Western Power via the WAPC, it's time to seek clearance from them all. Water Corporation will generally only seek to cite an infrastructure agreement with you and require that you pay a hefty contribution to their future works contracts. Western Power will seek to ensure that you have removed overhead power lines and replace them with adequate underground provisions to all proposed lots. Finally, Council will ensure that you have redeveloped and redesigned the site to meet the amenity requirements of today's property standards, such as outdoor entertaining areas and adequate car bays. Applying for new titles. This is the stage that you really should leave to the professionals. Once clearance has been received, it is then a process of having new titles issued through Landgate. This will take between 4 and 6 weeks. At this stage, once titles have been created, you've now unlocked enough equity to either sell the land or develop the housing in the best way you decide. If you plan to build, you should have already had building plans developed concurrently over the last 6 months, and now all that is left to do is seek finance from your lender using the new equity you've created in the land. Whilst this process of wealth creation isn't rocket science, it does require a great deal of patience, project management nous, and great negotiation skills. Finding a mentor or consultant to ease the stress and let you focus on other factors of daily life whilst your wealth is unlocked may be the right option for you.